Hey YouTube, what's going on? Oliver Reviews here. Today I'm talking about something a bit different from games. I'm talking about Pokemon, and more about why Ash should have won the Kalos League. I'm still upset about it. I don't know, you guys probably don't know, quite like Pokemon. It's a big part of my life. I enjoy it quite a lot. I'm very upset about what happened. I thought he could win. I really thought he could do it. The whole series, X and Y, has been just Ash has been on a roll. Like, all his gym battles have been really good. He's been training some really cool Pokemon. He's, like, grown up a whole lot, because Black and White, the last anime, it kind of, like, brought him back down again. It reset Pikachu, it reset him. He didn't know what all these Pokemon were. He was like, who's that Pokemon? Oh, it's a Skeptile. Oh, cool. It's just, for a long-time fan, it kind of makes you real sad. But X and Y brought him back up again. X and Y introduced stuff with, he knew more stuff about moves and type effectiveness. He knew about abilities, and they were using that, and just everything was so much better. It was just, everything was leading up to this, and he got through round after round, and then he's Greninja. Mega evolved, so it's not even Mega, it's like a synchronicity thing, and it's called Ash Greninja, and it just keeps getting more powerful and powerful, and he mastered it. He kept passing out all the time, but then he could control it. I do like that thing of when Greninja feels pain, Ash feels it as well, and so if he does push himself too far, that's why he did pass out. I really do like that bond, and it really shows the kind of trainer Ash is, and how he does bond with his Pokemon, and that it was so strong with Greninja that it had that transformation. And especially at the League, his Water Shuriken on his back. Water Shuriken in the game is like that big, and it does like 15 damage, and it has the possibility to hit 5 times. In the anime, it's this massive star thing on his back, and it just can one-shot anything. It's amazing. His Greninja and some other things in the anime at the end kind of like killed the parallel between the game and the anime. Like, the anime started to bring in, be like, oh, this Pokemon's doing this thing, because of its ability it can do this, and they were tying it sort of together, and it was nice. But especially the final battle that I'm going to talk about, it kind of kills the game anime ties, even though they're not tied together, in terms of characters and what Pokemon's potentials and what they can do. It still was just, it was just, you're doing so much, and now it's just kind of crazy, which is good, and there's some good moments with that can happen, and Pokemon can do different things, but especially Ash's Pokemon. But it's still, like, I wish there was, like, the sort of harmony, which we were seeing, and then it kind of broke. So Ash came really far, he got all these gym badges, he did everything, he got to the final, beat his rival. Really good battle. I do want to talk about Ash's team for a second. So at the moment, of course, he has Pikachu in his team. He has Greninja. It can go into Ash Greninja. He has his Talonflame, Hawlucha, Goodra, and Noivern. So they're all pretty tough Pokemon. They're all pretty good Pokemon. Talonflame's really quick. It's got the fire flying. Hawlucha's fighting flying. Noivern's dragon flying. And then you also have Goodra, which is dragon. They're all pretty tough Pokemon. There is this sort of thing of where half his team is part flying, so it's like, but they're all trained really well. The bond that he has with all of them is really good. Like, his Hawlucha is like one of my favorite characters. He's adorable. He fights for his friends. He has that connection with Noivern, and he helps him out. It's really, really great. I was disappointed with Goodra and Noivern, though, in terms of battling in the final, because Goodra left sort of bit after he evolved, halfway through. Yeah, about halfway through. And it was sad. And he came back, and that was really good, because Ash didn't have, for his rival battle, he didn't have a 6 Pokemon. So I was like, oh, what's going to happen? I was like, Goodra's probably going to come back. He did. That was good. But he just twice, like, he didn't have that much battle experience. So I was like, did put up a good fight, but just didn't do as much as he was when he's on the road with Ash. I feel like if Goodra had continued with Ash, he would have been a bit more powerful and be able to do some more stuff. Same with Noivern. He kind of got Noibat quite late, and then Noivern evolved not that long ago, and then he's battled against Alan before his Noivern with his Metagross. He's taken on Jim. He's taken on some other things, but I think he's only won 1 or 2 battles, if that. He's usually lost. Like, he puts up a good fight, and he has a lot of stamina, but he usually just loses. Especially in the finals, he hasn't done really anything for Ash. He's gone down straight away. There were a lot of double knockouts, especially in the prelims with his rival, which was good and shows, the strength of him. But with Alan, I really thought, I was like, okay, because in previous leagues, except for Black and White broke this tradition, which was why I was excited for this league as well, is that Ash goes back and grabs some of his old Pokemon, and that's my next point. Of some of the Pokemon he has on hand, such as his Charizard, which is his strongest Pokemon, and in Johto, they had to write him out of the series because Ash, was it when he versus Chikorita, it literally just kicks it, and it's like, you can't have it, so he got rid of that. Even Pokemon like his Heracross and his Kingler are really good, doesn't even use them that often. He has Snorlax, his Snorlax is pretty powerful. He has his Donphan that he uses in the Battle Frontier. He has a lot of Final Evolution starters that are quite strong. Infernape, which has its special, Blaze, super flame ability. He has his Torterra, his Sceptile. And I was always thinking Ash would get a Mega, but then he got his Ash Greninja, but Sceptile could Mega Evolve, Gallade could Mega Evolve. Black and White was a good anime for one reason. I did like some of the gym battles, and I did like how he got a whole bunch of Pokemon. He got a Livani and evolved it all the way through. He got a Palpitoad, he got all sorts of cool Pokemon. Scraggy. He didn't evolve many of the starters though. He only got Tepig to Pignite. But in terms of getting Pokemon, it was quite a good backlog. So he had Pokemon there, so I really thought he should have switched. I know it was a bit weird because Alan had a Charizard, so he couldn't really bring back Charizard. But even Squirtle, maybe. It's weird that he hasn't evolved, but his Squirtle was always quite powerful. But even, maybe Snorlax for a tank, or just something different, and then bring back your Infernape. Because you don't really need the Dragon Flying or the Dragon. It's not really doing much, and in terms of endurance. His Talonflame was astounding. His Talonflame went double knockouts nearly twice. It did put up a good fight, but I was really hoping to see some old Pokemon there. So we'll get to the final now. All of Ash's Pokemon performed pretty well. He put up a really good fight. Ash was in the lead the whole time, pretty much. In the end, it was down to his Pikachu was the one he had over Alan, but Pikachu was about to go down. So it gets down to Alan has Charizard not hurt, and has, what's his name? Bishop not harmed. It's been in battle, but it did the guillotine against Gudra, and Gudra went down. Ash then has Greninja Noivern. So Greninja, Noivern, and Pikachu left. So Pikachu comes on the field, gets Thunderbolt off on Charizard Story, so it takes super effective damage. Then it gets an Iron Tail as well. So it's taken super effective move and a straight attack. So he's already taken damage, his Charizard. Pikachu goes down, Bishop comes out, finishes off Noivern, it's all good. Greninja comes onto the field, pretty much one-shots Bishop, doesn't take any damage. Oh no, it was Gudra that was the second last Pokemon, sorry, not... Yeah, because Gudra comes on the field, uses Rain Dance before it dies. So we get to the final, and it's Greninja and Charizard. And then Greninja is in the rain, because the Rain Dance still right, so it's boosted its attack, because it's Water Dark. Charizard, again, now is in a disadvantage, because it's a Fire type, so the rain is going to dampen its effectiveness. Greninja gets a direct hit on him, boosted, so now Charizard has taken super effective, normal head-on attack, is in the rain and took another hit. So it's taken, 4 or 5 hits. It's in the rain. So it's already taken all this damage. Greninja's taken nothing. Normal Greninja's taken no damage. So the rain clears and then they start battling and then they get into it and they go Megas. And I'm like, I still think Ash can do this. The whole time I'm like, Ash can do this. I know there's that thing in the back of my head that's like, they're never going to let Ash win. The thing I say to that is, Ash has won the Battle Frontier, which is a whole season, and then he was offered to be the Frontier Brain, but he's like, no, I want to keep going. And he did win the Orange Islands after the Indigo Plateau League. In Season 2, he won the Orange Islands, went to the things, and they did the championship. So he has won things in the past. So I don't like the argument where they're like, oh, he can't win anything, because then he'll stop. No, he'd keep going. Ash wants to be a Pokemon Master. That means you want to see and catch all of the Pokemon and win all of the leagues. Ash isn't just going to win a league and be like, okay, I'm going home. He'd be like, cool, now I'm going to win the next league. Eventually, if I was him, I'd go back to the other leagues and try and win. Obviously, they're not going to do that in the series. But, eventually his character would be like, okay, cool, I'm going to go back and win those now, which he probably could. So we get back to the final, we have these two Pokemon, we get down, Charizard uses Blast Burn, and Ash Greninja does this big shuriken thing, so he puts up his normal shuriken, but then it goes yellow, and it grows like this big, like bigger than I can pull my arms out, this big ninja shuriken yellow thing. Don't know what it's called, it's a new move, it's just like this super shuriken thing. Chucks it directly at Charizard as blast burns happening. Both the attacks hit, classic anime cloud thing, don't know what's happening. They're both standing there, Greninja falls over, turns back to normal Greninja. Ash loses. And I don't understand. Because, yes, Blast Burn's a powerful attack and he's mega, but Charizard took all those hits. Ash has the type advantage. And also, Blast Burn's a Fire-type move. Even if it did hit Greninja after a couple of things, it shouldn't have done anything. It shouldn't have done anything at all. It's just ridiculous. Like, I was looking at stats for Charizard. His base defense is 78, and his special defense is 85. His Mega then goes to 111 defense and 85 special defense. Now, I know this is the thing where I'm like, the game and the anime don't have parallels, but if this was the game, Charizard wouldn't have done anything. It's just ridiculous if it took all that damage. Like, it probably would have gone down after the Thunderbolt. It's just... And that's why I get mad, because sometimes it takes from the game, sometimes it doesn't. So this Charizard is literally... Like, it would be the best Pokemon ever. Because apparently its defense is just ridiculous, and its endurance and its strength. And that's sort of the bond Alan has with his Charizard, but it just makes me mad. Like, Charizard's my favorite Pokemon, but it just makes me mad. Because Ash has worked so hard, and he just gets nowhere. I don't know why they couldn't give him a win, especially with Pokemon Sun and Moon coming out in the games. The anime will transition to that region. They have challenges, but it hasn't been confirmed if there are gym battles. So the anime is going to be a bit different. So if Ash, I assume Ash will still be in it, but it will be different. So if they're not going to have gyms in this new season, why didn't they just let Ash have the win? Why didn't they just... I don't see the argument of him not winning, because if he wins, he's still going to go on his journey. He's still going to go off. It won't be, cool, I'm out. And it just would have been the best time, because he worked really hard this season, and he did really well. I hope one day he will win. It looks like they're not going to let it happen till when they end the show. That will be the end, that he finally wins, and then they might do an aging thing, or they might just, that's it. But at some point they have to let him win it, because it's the whole point of the show. It just doesn't make any sense that he just goes on these journeys and then just loses. And every time he's got better, like, Indigo Player 2, top 16, top 8. Shino was the other closest time he got. It was top 4 and he came 3rd because the guy that he was versing had a Darkrai and he used all his Pokemon and couldn't beat it. And then Pikachu beat Darkrai and he's like, oh, maybe I have this. And the guy threw out a Latias and it's like, cool. Legendaries shouldn't have happened, but that was just the show being like, no, we don't care about you. So that was fun. And then Black and White, who was like top 8 or 16 again, like he did really bad in the Black and White League. They just pushed him back. They did not care. And then that's why this was so good this season. Like they got back, he's progressing. So at least he came second. I guess that's my silver lining. At least he came second. Best he's ever come. He's getting better, but he really needs to win it. And I'm still very upset about it. Leave your comments and stuff for how you feel. I'm pretty sure everyone feels the same. Hopefully he'll win it one day. Hopefully the rest of the anime wraps up quite nicely. Check out my Facebook page, All Over Reviews, where I review video games and talk about other sort of nerdy things, and I'll talk to you later.